So one of those guys got COVID, this guy Khamzat Chimaev, and this is a psychopath. He's a savage, like one of the most savage guys that's ever fought in the sport. And he just kept training. He just trains like 8 hours a day. He trains like a wolverine. He's an animal. And he was training with COVID, and he kept getting real sick. Wound up getting hospitalized, coughing up blood, gets out, goes right back to it. Same thing, hospitalized again. He got hospitalized like twice because he wouldn't stop training because he's that psychotic.
Khamzat Chimaev is finally back in training camp to prepare for his upcoming fight against Sean Strickland. The middleweight champion is confident to defend his belt at UFC 328.
160 for 30 seconds. Here we go right now.
The Chechen Wolf is training with Arman Tsarukyan and Khalil Roundtree Jr. and is sharpening the tools that make him one of MMA's most dangerous fighters. Khamzat Chimaev heads into the gym with complete focus, honing his skills, building endurance, and perfecting the game plan that will carry him through his first title defense. Khalil Roundtree also talked about Khamzat Chimaev's hard work and dedication, saying some people might think he trains too much. Roundtree explained that what makes Chimaev special is his discipline. For Roundtree, this steady routine is what turns Chimaev into a real champion.
I think it can be commonly mistaken by a lot of people as overtraining, but the way that I see it is it's discipline. Disciplined in his daily time, you know, like every day, no matter what, we're training 2 times a day. And I think that's really what makes him a champion, is that it doesn't matter what's going on, where he is in the world. This schedule is, it's nonstop because he lives this, he breathes this. So, and it shows in his daily routine.
Daniel Cormier also shares that Khamzat Chimaev drives his training partners to their limits by offering money as motivation. By putting a bounty on himself, Chimaev pushes everyone to give them all that they have, challenge him, and try to submit him, creating the toughest training environment imaginable. Daniel Cormier said, "I have heard Khamzat Chimaev wants people to go so hard with him to try to beat him and submit him, he's paying them. Khamzat's putting a bounty on himself to make guys give him all that they have." Khalil Roundtree described training with Khamzat Chimaev as both tough and eye-opening. He said the workouts pushed him past his own limits, making him rethink his fitness and mindset. For Roundtree, it showed just how intense Chimaev really is, even for experienced fighters.
Very intense. Everything that I expected. I knew that it was going to be a push. I knew that I was going to come in here and do my absolute best, but yeah, it was painful. There were definitely moments where I would call them humbling, because it makes me just question certain things that I even say about myself. Sometimes I think I'm really good or in good shape, and then I face a workout like this, and it makes me realize that there's so much more to go. And so it's eye-opening, and overall good. Strong group of people, strong group of guys, strong coaches. Man, I'm exhausted, but we're going to go to the beach now. Good recovery.
Khalil Roundtree added that Khamzat Chimaev's training environment is on a whole different level. He stays surrounded by ready fighters and pushes through 2 hard workouts every single day, keeping a pace that very few can keep up with.
The biggest difference that I see between Khamzat Chimaev's training camp and other guys is that he's got a team of dedicated fighters on call. and he likes to train twice a day. It's a really cool thing to experience and to be a part of, because it makes me feel like, yeah, this is what we do. Like, we're fighters. We can do whatever we need to do at any given time.
On the other hand, Israel Adesanya has criticized Khamzat Chimaev's inactivity as UFC middleweight champion. He recalled how Chimaev dominated the division early in his career, fighting frequently, and expressed confusion over why that momentum had slowed since claiming the belt.
What do you mean by some of the things you've done for the game have been underappreciated?
Okay, I mean, look at the middleweight division now. You know, Khamzat was a very active guy coming up, smoking everybody, fighting multiple times, I think twice in a month even at one point. And now that he's champion, I'm not sure what the deal is. Is it visa issues? Is it injuries? I'm not sure. But now he's got a fight coming up. But, you know, the last active champion was me. You know, the last guy who put on the line, regardless, every time called out the best was me. So yeah, that's one thing I can say that people didn't appreciate till. Even I didn't appreciate till now that I'm here watching it. And I'm like, damn, this game is slow and just stuck without me. So yeah, that, and I'm sure there's other things as well, but that's one thing I can say that people didn't appreciate. You know, even I might not have appreciated, was how active I was and how much I gave to the game while I was here, or while I was holding the belt.
Adesanya implied that a champion should maintain that same drive and presence in the octagon. Israel Adesanya urged Khamzat Chimaev to stay as active as he was before winning the title. He noted Chimaev thrived on frequent fights, much like Adesanya did early in his career, and insisted the belt shouldn't slow his momentum.
The middleweight championship has been a little hot potato-like since you last held it in your second reign. Now around the waist, of course, of unbeaten Khamzat Chimaev. What are your thoughts of his takeover at 185 here?
Yeah, he did well to get the belt, but I'm not sure what's holding him up or why. Maybe it was visa issues. I'm not sure. I don't really follow that. I don't really follow the MMA news as much, but I'm not sure what's holding it up because, you know, I felt like he would be an active champion. He should be an active champion because he's a guy that likes to fight a lot when he was coming up, just like me. But when I got the belt, I didn't let that slow me down. I was active. I was calling out everybody. I was trying to find the best and fight them. So I think he should be doing the same.
Earlier, Sean Strickland also slammed Khamzat Chimaev's inactivity for stalling the middleweight division. He argued that fighting once a year left contenders waiting and questioned Chimaev's recurring mysterious injuries that always appeared near fight time.
So, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird what the UFC did with Chimaev. You brought a guy in that fights once a year who's like Madonna, who probably gets like, you know, I mean, how much money does that dictator give him on the table? Like, the guy doesn't need to fight, dude. He's best friends with a warlord. He's just gonna sit on that belt and wait until they force him to fight. But yeah, no, the middleweight division, man, like from a pure money perspective, you would make more money not fighting for the belt than you would fighting for the belt. Say Chimaev goes and fights Nasruddin in 6 months. Well, let's say Chimaev sprains his pinky like he normally does. Now he takes another year off. So it's like you're off for 2 years. The belt isn't even like, it's not even in my brain anymore. I don't even think about it. Like, I'll make significantly more money just fighting.
Sean Strickland rejected the slow pace of title fights, insisting he preferred staying active over waiting for opportunities. He criticized fighters who sat out or dealt with mysterious injuries, contrasting it with his approach of taking tough matchups and earning consistently. Strickland emphasized that chasing a belt often meant long layoffs, while regular fights kept momentum and income flowing.
You say, hey, you want to wait a year and a half and like not fight, or just keep fighting and fighting good guys and maybe taking an L? I'll just go fight good guys, maybe take an L, and I'll triple my pay. I'd just say Fluffy beats me and like, you know, Fluffy want you for a title fight. Well, I mean, he's gonna fight Nasruddin in probably what, 6 months? Fights Nasruddin, say they have a hard fight, or even if they have an easy fight, he sprains his pinky toe, he's out for another 8 months. So like, Fluffy, you're not fighting for a year and a half if you want to wait for that. And I'm sure you would, but it's like, me personally, I don't give a give me my paycheck. I want to go fight.
So
Every fight, dude, the guy's like, I broke my hand. Dude, I have an X-ray. Want to see it? Like, my shoulder is broken. It's like every time this guy fights, he has a mysterious injury. It's just, why wait?
Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya emphasized that Khamzat Chimaev should maintain the same high activity he showed before winning the title. He noted Chimaev thrived on frequent fights, much like Adesanya did early in his career, and insisted the belt shouldn't slow his momentum.
And of course, we have a title fight coming up with Chimaev making that first title defense against Sean Strickland in Newark. You've shared the cage with Strickland before. How big of a dog is he in this fight in your eyes? Can he upset the apple cart?
I think he can if it goes to the later rounds and he doesn't get taken down. But again, Chimaev is a bat out of hell. He's a guy that comes aggressively straight away, and Strickland can match that probably, but we'll see. And they've trained together, so this is probably something that happened in the gym that we are not privy to. So yeah, that'll be interesting, but I look forward to watching it and reacting to it on YouTube.
Din Thomas predicted a heated and unpredictable clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland. He noted that Strickland's fiery remarks could provoke a strong reaction from Chimaev and his team, creating a volatile atmosphere. Thomas even suggested extra security might be necessary, underscoring the tension and high stakes of the matchup. Din Thomas said, "I think it's going to be real ugly. I think they're going to need extra security. You know Sean is going to say some crazy wild stuff and he's going to leave it at that, and he's going to wait for the fight. But we just don't know what Chimaev and his people might do if they're truly offended. What they might say or do if they're truly offended." Michael Bisping also reacted to the title fight announcement, saying Sean Strickland earned the shot with his dominant win over Anthony Hernandez and impressive mic presence. He described Khamzat Chimaev as a force of nature, making the matchup daunting, but highlighted that Strickland had controlled most of his opponents, including a key decision over Dricus du Plessis.
Khamzat Chimaev taking on for the middleweight title Sean Strickland. That is correct. Sean needs no nickname. He gets called lots of names by a lot of people because he's a controversial guy. But I tell you what, the way that he beat Alexander Fluffy Hernandez, the way that he put a beat down on him respectfully to Fluffy, the way that he finished him with that knee to the midsection, and then to be honest, how he handled himself on the microphone, right?
Fluffy's the definition of a man.
He deserves this shot. Of course, he lost the belt to Dricus du Plessis. How's he going to do against Khamzat Chimaev? I don't know about that. Khamzat Chimaev is ridiculous. What is he, 15-0? He's a force of nature. Of course, went to a decision with Dricus du Plessis, controlled him throughout the entirety of the fight. Yes, he was trying to finish it, but he didn't get it. But other than that, he does smoke most people.
Michael Bisping broke down why Sean Strickland earned the championship opportunity over Nasruddin Imavov. He highlighted Strickland's prior victory against Imavov and his standout performance against Anthony Hernandez, showing he belonged at the top. Bisping also pointed to the simmering rivalry between Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev, recalling their past clashes in training encounters, which adds extra intensity and storyline to the matchup. The stakes couldn't be higher for the division.
What is the biggest news to you? What is the biggest surprise? Is it Sean Strickland getting the shot over Nasruddin Imavov? I know Imavov beat Kyle Bohayo, but when you look at it, Strickland's already beat Imavov. Yeah, it was a while ago, but a win's a win. And he just put a beat down and a stoppage on Fluffy, right? Imavov beat Kyle Bohayo by decision. And we all know this sport's about what have you done for me lately. There is a backstory between Chimaev and Sean Strickland. They have trained with one another. There's a bit of shit talk. There's going to be bad blood. We know that the lead up to the fight will be goddamn insane, right? Chimaev doesn't hold back. He talks shit, but in a kind of reserved way, but like he truly believes in himself. And Sean Strickland is just going to go on the full offensive. We know that. We know that. He's going to be talking some crazy shit.
The stakes couldn't be higher for the division. MMA Guru calls this bout the most consequential of the year, noting that Strickland earned his title shot through dominant performances. Even critics who doubted his abilities can't ignore his recent wins, which firmly establish him as a contender capable of testing Chimaev in every facet of the fight game.
The biggest matchup, Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland was asking for it after his win against Anthony Hernandez. Poor Nasruddin Imavov. No one cares, buddy. It is bad for Nasruddin Imavov because he is very deserving, but I guess they are taking into consideration the fact that Sean Strickland has a win over Nasty Namavov. You know, a lot of people were trashing Sean Strickland about his fighting ability before the Anthony Hernandez fight, including Nasty Namavov as well. He was trashing Strickland, saying this guy's complete trash, this guy's garbage. And I even put a tweet out saying, this guy beat you on a week's notice. You know, Strickland has some solid wins, and they're definitely coming into play here.
MMA Guru calls this bout the most consequential of the year, noting that Strickland earned his title shot through dominant performances. Even critics who doubted his abilities can't ignore his recent wins, which firmly establish him as a contender capable of testing Chimaev in every facet of the fight game. MMA Guru sees Khamzat Chimaev as almost untouchable right now. He points out that Strickland might use his wrestling to create openings, but Chimaev's growth as a champion and ongoing skill development give him the upper hand. Guru adds that the 5-round clash with Dricus du Plessis, who had previously beaten Strickland, gave Chimaev key experience and confidence boost heading into this matchup.
It's hard to pick against Khamzat Chimaev right now. I do think Strickland has the wrestling game to make it a little bit more of a challenge. But man, it's hard to go against Khamzat Chimaev, and he's only going to be getting better as well. Now that he's a world champion, he's had a lot of time to recover, a lot of time to develop his game. 5 rounds with Dricus du Plessis, that's valuable experience. He'd never been 5 rounds. I don't think he'd ever had a 5-round fight booked. Maybe he had on some like weird circumstance, but I don't think he had. And if he did, he finished it in round 1. He'd never been 5 rounds before. That's very good experience against a great fighter like Dricus du Plessis, who has wins over Sean Strickland.
However, Jorge Masvidal challenged the idea that Khamzat Chimaev is untouchable. He pointed to Chimaev's bout with Kamaru Usman, noting that Usman took fight on short notice and at a heavier weight, yet still pushed the pace. Masvidal argued that this showed Chimaev's dominance might be a bit overstated, reminding fans that he's not invincible inside the octagon.
Chimaev, to me, though he looked great in that DDP fight, I don't think he's all that good, man. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Nah, I just know it.
Really?
I don't think so, man. I mean, look at the Usman fight. Usman was a 170-pounder. Took the fight in 11 days' notice. And funny story, I seen Usman like 2 days before he took that fight out and about. I was out in Miami at a place known to stay open until like 6 a.m. And
I seen before the fight happened.
2 days before the fight got
the Hamza fight.
I was at a place, I'm not gonna say what place, but it rhymes with 7.
Jorge Masvidal backs Sean Strickland over Khamzat Chimaev, insisting he doesn't see Chimaev coming out on top. He's so confident in Strickland that he jokes about going all in on him, even joking about betting heavily. Masvidal also hints that Chimaev might shy away from the fight, despite their long history training together, adding another layer of intrigue to the matchup.
You know, now I know he went up to 185 and did some big things, but I don't think he beats Strickland. I don't think so.
What? That is a wild take.
I'll bet.
Yo, that's a wild take.
I'm dumping the house on Strickland on that one.
That's a wild take.
Listen, I'm gonna put
really?
like 100 bands, and I don't even think Chimaev fights him because they've trained a lot.
This is a wild take.
You'll see my prize picks. I put up 100 bands of my own money. I'm gonna go, what? That's how confident I am. Strickland beats him.
Dude, that would be huge for his legacy if he beats a guy like Khamzat.
He beats him.
Really?
It's a bad style for him. I've seen Sean go with good wrestlers over at American Top Team. Guys that wrestled their whole lives, All-Americans, national champions. And dude, this guy can wrestle defensively. Now, he never uses his wrestling in a fight, Strickland. But if you try to wrestle with him, you quickly find out this guy could wrestle back into me. And that costs a lot of energy. And Chimaev doesn't have the best gas tank, you know?
However, Kamaru Usman highlighted just how tricky Sean Strickland is to land clean shots on. He explained that unlike fighters who come forward aggressively, Strickland stays loose and relaxed, using subtle leans and awkward angles to frustrate opponents. Usman noted that if Khamzat Chimaev can't rely on his usual pressure, he'll have to adapt and showcase a broader range of skills to navigate Strickland's unique defense.
This is what I have to say is that Strickland is, I've always said this, Strickland is extremely tricky to hit because everyone gets into the sport, is fighting, and then everyone swings at people's heads and try to take off their heads. Strickland had this weird style of just kind of relax here and just kind of throws his hands up to kind of block and leans away to where it's very difficult for people to get to his face to hit him. As you see when he, who was it that actually caught him was Pereira. I think it was coming off of like a fake knee, and it was kind of just a, you know, Pereira has those hooks that you don't really see because his hands are so low, and it just boom, and then a straight right, boom, put him out. You know, it's a very, if you're not in a situation like that, Strickland is very hard to hit. Now, with what everyone sees with Khamzat, I think, and you can, I don't know if you've been put in this situation yet. I don't think you've been in that fight, Bo, but you can be put in a situation where your go-to move does not work, and you're forced to show your whole arsenal.
Kamaru Usman still suggested that Sean Strickland's unorthodox style could pose a serious challenge for Khamzat Chimaev. He explained that Chimaev often leans on one dominant weapon to dictate his fights, but against someone like Strickland, that strategy might not be enough. Usman added that Chimaev has the tools to strike effectively, and if he adopts and taps into his full arsenal, fans could finally witness the complete scope of his abilities inside the octagon.
So Khamzat goes out there and he has this one tool that he uses, and he can just dominate everybody.
Bo Nickel calls the matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland a compelling showdown. He highlights Strickland's sharp striking and relentless cardio as key advantages, while his loose, awkward style and tight defensive wrestling make him tricky to hit. Nickel notes that if Chimaev moves beyond his usual takedown approach, the fight could showcase the full scope of his abilities, revealing just how complete a fighter he has become.
If Sean Strickland and Khamzat fight, who wins?
I think Khamzat Strickland is the fight to make because Strickland did beat Imavov. The striking ability, you have to lean a little bit towards Strickland. The cardio advantage, you know, I'd say again, Strickland.
His defense is actually not bad. Not just through his striking. I don't think anybody's ever held him down before.
He does have good defensive wrestling.
We know if you can't get Strickland down and he starts marching downhill, it's a problem. Strickland had this weird style and just kind of throws his hands up to kind of block and leans away to where it's very difficult to hit him. Khamzat has really good striking. If he can switch the mentality to where it's not just, I have to get this guy down, this could be that fight. We really start to see that arsenal.
Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley joked that a fight with Sean Strickland would only be boring if Khamzat Chimaev totally takes control. He compared it to Chimaev's battle with Dricus du Plessis, noting that while Strickland brings heat, Chimaev's relentless style could turn the fight into non-stop action.
I just can't imagine Strickland being a boring fight. And I guess I could, because Khamzat could be that dominant, could put him on his back, and Strickland not really wrestle up because he don't want to get in the front headlock, he doesn't want to give his back, just kind of lays on his, I don't know. But it's definitely possible this is going to be a similar fight to DDP. But I feel like Sean's going to make it fun, crack him.
How much you know we haven't really seen Strickland grapple that much. I've seen him in the gym with clips, whatnot. He looks like he can grapple pretty proficiently.
He's known for being a really good grappler. Definitely haven't seen it much in fights that I can think of, but I feel like I've always heard of how good Sean Strickland wrestling, grappling is. We're definitely gonna find out how fucking good it is.
So that's all we have from today's video, and we hope you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about this exciting matchup in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more of the latest updates about this epic clash.